This message goes out to all matriculants now in December 2022 who will be awaiting their year-end results and hopefully starting a new chapter of their lives where they are now completely finished with high school. 5 year, crazy 5 years of life, a lot of growth from puberty to maybe dating for the first time to potentially having sex for the first time, maybe trying out cigarettes and other drugs, maybe drinking for the first time, going partying. Some of your parents are starting to take you seriously. Your body is changing. Maybe your voice is dropped. You're becoming a lady. Your breasts have grown. And you basically are becoming a young adult and going into your next phase, which is meant to be tertiary education, if not basically going into the job market or starting a business. Guys, this December, I'm begging you. This is a message for you and probably for your parents as well. Use this December to introspect about your life. I know you're relatively young. I know the schooling system, based on my experience and knowledge, has not done a good job of equipping you for the real world. I urge you to make time to sit with your parents many days now in December and speak to them about your future. Part of it, of course, if you're lucky enough, is to go to tertiary. Do you really have enough money to go into tertiary? Have you got NSFAS? Have you got a bursary? Do your parents have money for you? What is the plan? Do you think your marks, realistically speaking, are going to be good enough? Or are you living on hope and faith? No. Be honest. And in that conversation, speak about money. Speak about what's going to happen next year in 2023. Will you have enough money to get by? Do you know where you're going? Do you understand the space that you're going in? If you already know the university or the college you're going to, do you know the area? Do you know the nearest police station there? Do you know the nearest clinic or hospital? Do you have the emergency contact numbers of the tertiary institution, your landlord, if you want to be staying in a flat, in a commune, etc.? Do your parents have that information? Be prepared. Have you got your clothes in order for next year? Tertiary is not meant to be a fashion show, contrary to what you may be led to believe. You're not going there to model. You're going there to study. And studying requires uniform. So I beg you, if you can, a conversation with your children, conversation with your parents. I would like to have a uniform as I go to tertiary. Whether it's going to be a pairs of jeans and t-shirts, whether it's going to be a shirt, shorts, slops, have some type of uniform and stop trying to be cool on campus. No one is paying you to be cool on campus unless you're planning to be an influencer. But even that, you don't have to do it on campus. You can do it on social media. And if you get a following on social media, then it can translate to you being an it boy or an it girl on campus. But focus on your education, which is what you're there for. If you're on a sports bursary, what is your plan? What happens if sports doesn't work out? Are you going to be pushing books? Because sports, for most people, is actually a short-lived career. 5 years, 10 years if you're lucky. But what happens after that bursary, that scholarship? What happens if you never make a professional side, but you've been given this opportunity to study for free because of your sports, because of your sporting abilities, etc.? Academic abilities. People have bursaries revoked during their tertiary years. People have their scholarships revoked. You might not get NSFAS in your second year, third year. Have those conversations. If you have got older siblings that are either in tertiary or have been in tertiary, sit with them. Ask them for advice. What should I look out for? Not just speak about sex, drinking, or the parties, the freshers bash. No. Speak about school, tutorials, assignments, exams, picking the right friends. Picking the right friends in your first week at tertiary can be a make or break. Picking friends that are there on merit, that are there to study, that are focused, that have a future, that come from good families, can change your entire life instead of trying to be cool and being with kids who are the coolest in the first 2 months of tertiary, but then they disappear because drugs, they get STIs, they maybe die from a car accident or whatever. People die in varsity. Some commit suicide. Some have to go home because their academic performance is so bad. Sit with your parents. If you cannot get to tertiary, what is the plan for next year? Have you looked at backup schools to improve your marks? If you really have the psychological strength to redo matric or certain subjects in matric, do you have a plan to go work? Do you have family members and friends who own businesses, no matter how small the business is? As long as you can stay at home, go and work somewhere, make that little 2,000 Rand, 4,000 Rand a month so that you can contribute in the home and maybe save to potentially study at a UNISA. The whole point of tertiary is to go and acquire skills. That's it. Acquire skills so that you can use those skills to make money. Some kids will not have the privilege of acquiring skills through tertiary, but they can acquire skills through short courses, whether it is coding, whether it is plumbing, whether it is electrical work, whether it is becoming a teacher, a tutor, teaching English as a foreign language, online or going overseas, being an au pair, looking after people's children, acquiring a skill that will give you money. At the end of the day, people want money because money is the currency we use as a medium of exchange so that we can get food, so that we can get shelter, so that we can get transport, so that we can get clothing, etc. If you cannot get into tertiary, it's not the end of the world. Tertiary is only a space to acquire skills. You can acquire skills in other spaces. You can apprentice at a workshop for a mechanic. You can apprentice with an electrician. You can apprentice somewhere else. You can learn how to be a sports coach after matric. Go and spend time with other coaches. See if there's any budgets they can give you and then grow towards that. Get a refereeing license and go be a referee for soccer or for rugby or for any other sports and get paid. Maybe you can become an assistant teacher, a student teacher. If you've got friends, like I said, or family members with businesses, go and work for them and make money, but continue to work on your skills. In these 4 years, 5 years that your friends are at tertiary, you could have been learning how to make money. You could be making your own money. You could have been doing short courses. You could have been traveling where they can't travel. You could be meeting successful people. You can even learn how to get into tenders. Tenders do not require you to have a degree, a diploma. They require you to set up a business. They require you to go and get onto the database of government, or if you're doing private tenders in the private sector, do so, and then understand the process. Spend time with tenderpreneurs, know how to fill in documents, know how to bid, know how to get pricing, and then once you get tenders, know how to deliver a good service or deliver decent products. Don't need matric for that. You can have a political career after matric. Go and join a local branch and be active on the ground. Go join a non-profit organization, a charity. Go volunteer to help orphanages. Go volunteer to go and help old age homes. You might get a little stipend. Be busy. Not all of you are going to get into tertiary. Not all of you are going to get good marks. But you need to use December almost every single day. Sit with your parents. Sit with your older siblings, cousins. Sit with your aunts and uncles. Sit with your schoolmates and be like, guys, what's the plan? You guys know SKL, I was getting 60%. I'm not really sure if my parents have money. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, last weekend rather, I visited Mpopomeni, township Yase Howick, where my father grew up. After doing that, I went to Newcastle, where I grew up. And I bumped into certain people in town, even in Mpopomeni and Newcastle, who we went to school with, myself, my brother, my sister. And you see some of them are working in restaurants. You see some of them are working in certain businesses. See some of them are working in municipalities, municipal offices, government departments. Obviously, some of them are on holiday from wherever they come from, whatever city. People's lives move on. Not all of them got a chance to go to tertiary. Not all of them got a chance to finish tertiary. Not all of them got nice, fancy jobs. Some of them after matric, they were miserable for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. But at some point, you have to wake the fuck up and realize life is not waiting for you. And this pride that you have, oh, what will my friends say? And now you're lying, you're pretending like you're waiting for your results. No, if it's you're lying. But you're lying to other people who don't fucking give a fuck about your life because they're worried about their lives. You're lying to yourself. And your parents are also embarrassed. They're ashamed. They're not speaking to people. Oh no, he's taking a gap year. They're lying because they're ashamed. Guys, the reality is life is moving on. So if you're not going to make it in matric, you either improve your marks, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're ashamed or whatever, go live with your aunt, uncle in another city and go study somewhere obscure where people don't know you. If you want to work at a McDonald's, at a Spur, at a KFC, at a ShopRite, maybe go to another town far away where you've got family members and friends and go work there where people don't really know you. But you have to keep going in life. And just because you're working at ShopRite after matric, just because you're driving a taxi after matric, it doesn't mean you're now stuck in that for the rest of your life. That's just your journey for now. You're going to be there for 2 years, 3 years, etc. And then from there, it's up to you what you do with the little bit of money that you get. It's up to you which courses you do. There's online courses. You guys can watch YouTube videos. You can be a taxi driver. You can be an Uber driver. And every day, like Penuel the Black Pen, make YouTube videos. Go and read up on content. Try and remember that content and then make these videos. Educate people on like money. Read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read a nice story there and be like, hi guys, it's me. I want to speak to you guys about how to mind your own business, as said by Robert Kiyosaki. I want to speak to you guys about the principles of life and economics by Ray Dalio. I want to share some thoughts on what Andrew Tate has said in a video that inspired me very much. I want to speak about an amazing interview Oprah Winfrey did with Tyler Perry. I want to speak about Tyler Perry and how he built Tyler Perry Studios and how he came from being homeless, living in his car, to building. Be productive. Life moves on. Move to Joburg. Sign up with an agency. Go to auditions. Start being a model. Start being on commercials. Start acting. Be proactive about your life. But the most important thing for me is be honest, be realistic, and be practical. Even if you get a chance to go and study engineering, law, medicine at tertiary, that also may not be the end of your life. It's not like, oh, I got accepted to study actuarial science at UCT. My life's over. I'm done. Anything can happen. I got accepted to study my accounting to become a chartered accountant at Rhodes University. I got a nice scholarship from Ernst & Young. From there, I went to do my honors in accounting at the University of Johannesburg. I went to work for two of the biggest banks in the country, Absa and Standard Bank. Here I am today, along with other kids who are 15, who are 12, kids that are 20 years old. I'm making YouTube videos. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I'd be making YouTube videos? But that's where I am, making them on my phone. I'm not ashamed. I'm so happy with my life. At some point while I was working for Absa and Standard Bank, I opened a fish and chip shop selling fried slab chips and fish and Russians. Like any other kid that doesn't have a nice fancy job. While I was at varsity with certain friends, we ran businesses. I was selling t-shirts. I was selling boerewors rolls outside clubs, etc. I was working. I was pushing. I've written books. I didn't even study English. I didn't study literature. But I've written books that I sell. I acted in soapies. I acted on TV commercials. Who would have thought? That's life. 2009, I was depressed. I found myself back home. And that year, I coached the first rugby team along with Mr. Skuman at Newcastle High School. I was the backline coach. He was the forwards coach and the head coach as well. I coached a first rugby team. Who would have thought? That's the beauty of life. You are not stuck in one place, but be practical, be open-minded, and constantly be acquiring skills. I've learned so many skills: how to service a car, obviously cutting people's hair. I know how to cook. I know how to run events. I know how to speak. I know how to create content. And it's fucking amazing. I can code. I can code on a computer. I can do presentations. I can do so many dope things because I'm just an explorer of life. And that's me. You don't have to be an explorer of life, but just find 1 to 3 decent skills that people will pay you for. And at the very worst, you can go and open a spaza shop and just sell, boy. Just sell. You can sell more fire. You can sell other people's books. You can sell other people's sneakers. You can go online and flip products. You can go on Facebook Market. You can go take a lot. You can host events. You can open a shisanyama. You can open a little car wash, a kaslako, and make some cash. Be productive. We're trying to make money. We're trying to live. We're trying to be good. This is a message for the matriculants of 2022. Spend every single day this year chilling with your parents and creating something amazing with your life from next year on. Next year is not a make or break year. It's just the next phase of your life. There are going to be more phases that are still coming. Pin you all the black pen. Love you guys very much. Cheers.